Can you tell me how many days at this point you have worked straight without a day off? Tell me about that.
384 continuous days of working in my COVID unit without a single day off.
Not one single day off.
Not a single day off.
How many people do you have working on COVID-19 in this hospital? Of all the employees, how many are specifically working in COVID-19 roughly?
Right now we have approximately over 250 or so employees that work in the COVID unit.
Okay. And how many employees in the hospital altogether?
About 350. So we're talking about 66% of people are allocated specifically to the COVID unit.
Very good. That's what I need, man. The big question is this: Leapfrog has rated your hospital. They've given you a D as far as a letter grade. Can you explain how that could happen?
Well, I mean, there are many reasons by which can happen. You know, I went back and looked at that, and apparently they sent an email with a survey, and they grade you based on the survey. Well, they sent the email on April of last year to a general email box. Obviously, April of last year, you know, we're working saving lives. My entire staff is trying to get COVID going on. Nobody looked at that email. So it's like if you go and take a test and you don't show up for the test, of course they're going to fail you. That's exactly what happened.
A very good analogy, man. It really is. It really is. Let me tell you about some of the, we'll go into some specifics here. First of all, give me, from your opinion, tell me about your mortality rate. Emphasize that for me, how good that is. I mean, this survey gave you a D as far as the Leapfrog gives you a D as far as the letter grade. How did you do as far as mortality rate?
Well, you know, you can give me any letter that you want of the alphabet. It really doesn't matter because at the end of the day is what we do. We're a hospital that works for the community. We care for the indigent population. We care for those that nobody else wants to care for. And more importantly, we have the best survival rates for COVID in the entire country. We have published data that shows that last year when we looked at the specific mortality, our mortality rate was 4.4%, when in the rest of the United States, and a graphic says everything, you know, the mortality rates were above 20%. So we actually are doing pretty good. So if Leapfrog wants to give me any letter of the alphabet, that's okay. It doesn't bother me because I know that as a hospital, we're doing the best we can for our patients.
Very good, sir. And as far as, you know, because people do want to get information about the hospital they're going to go to, what do you think is the best resource for people to go to find out about the hospital they're going to visit? Would it be looking at Leapfrog? Would it be looking at another report?
Well, I mean, in all honesty, the best advertisement for any hospital is word of mouth. And if you ask our patients how they have done, if you look at our outcomes, how they've done, if you look at the science behind of what we do, you will see that at least for the last year, we have done a fantastic job. More importantly, you know, we went ahead and we helped when nobody else wanted to help. So Leapfrog doesn't take into consideration those things. Leapfrog cares about their survey, and that's okay, that's what they do. But as a hospital, if you ask me if I have COVID today, the only hospital in town that I would go to would be UMMC.
Okay. I'll put it to you even more simply. Do you dispute the grade they've given you a D?
Again, you know, I am not a person that really likes, no other hospital does what we do. No other hospital takes care of the community like we do. You know, we are a patient that we take any transfers from anybody, whether the patient has money, whether the patient has no money. And those are things that the surveyors don't take into consideration. So I cannot dispute whatever they have that we didn't show up for the test, just like we said. So of course they're gonna give you a D grade. Having said that, I believe that if I was to grade this hospital, I would give this hospital an A+ for the effort that we have done during this pandemic.
Very good, sir. Let me go to a couple of specific things here. just a second here. You're doing great, as you always do. One of the big parts of this survey is they graded you guys down as far as the number of specially trained doctors who work in the ICU department. The best hospitals scored like 100. You guys scored a 5 out of a possible 100. What do you say about that?
Well, I mean, in all fairness, you cannot compare apples with oranges. I mean, you are comparing a big hospital that has 100 intensivists versus a small hospital that has 1 intensivist, which is me. And I have been here. We have a couple of additional intensivists that are available. But as you correctly mentioned, I've been working here every single day. I stay here between 10 to 16 hours a day. And one of the most important things is that, yes, you give me a D score, but yet I'm getting patients transferred from the A scores hospitals to us. I mean, we have patients coming in from the medical center to be taken care of here because either the families or their doctors consider that we have better treatment options and clearly better outcomes. So again, with all due respect to the Leapfrog project, they can give us any letter they want. I believe in UMMC.